Hi, Scorpio. I hope you guys are having a wonderful April. I didn't get to your reading in April because I had a terrible migraine for literally like 3 weeks straight. So, sent me even to the ER. It was a mess. So you and Sagittarius and Capricorn are getting readings after the birthday readings I did. So, um, couple of things before we get into the astrology. For those of you that have been hanging out and watching the last couple of months of chaos go down, we finally got a place. I'm so excited. We'll be moving in June, the first week in June. But we're starting from scratch. Like essentially we need everything, furniture, pots, pans, dishes, everything. So I've opened up my May calendar. All of my readings are available. I even have the 6 month July through December reading available. So if you go to my website, which will be in the description box, you can see all of that. I have like a soul's journey. A lot of people are a little confused about directions and stuff that they're supposed to be going in. So the soul's journey reading has been a really good one to kind of get back on track. So if you would like to get a reading with me, that would be really helpful to get us started in the new spot that we'll be in. I'm so excited. I have a home. Um, so the astrology for May is kind of intense. It's going to be a little intense. May 1st, we have Pluto retrograde for 5 months. Pluto will go direct in Capricorn in October. But Pluto begins retrograde in your fourth house and will regress back into your third house of Capricorn. During this time, pay attention to how your environment once, you've probably seen that environmental change, but there's going to be a lot of closure and a lot of personal growth where this retrograde is happening in our lives. So, whether it's in the fourth house for you or the third house for you, wherever this retrograde is happening, the last 6 months of 2022, and even the first couple months of 2023, wherever things have been changing for you, there's some closure that's going to be happening as well. May 5th, we have the Scorpio lunar eclipse. So your final lunar eclipse of this cycle for another 13 years. We're not going to have to see an eclipse in Scorpio again. This is happening in your first house. This is giving you opportunities to redefine yourself. This is a reimagination of who you are. And Scorpio risings are shapeshifters anyways. You guys are very, and even though you are a fixed sign, you can actually adapt pretty well. It just takes some time for you to make the change before you get the opportunity to adapt. So that's where that fixed nature kind of comes into. But don't make really massive changes unless they've already sort of been on a roll to change. Like don't make those big monumentous decisions on the eclipse day. Like if you've been planning a move, yes. If you've been planning a vacation, yes. If you've been planning like whatever it is that you're already planning to do, that's fine. But if this is not something, if it's really spontaneous, maybe give it a few beats, see how you feel in a couple of days, and then come back to it. Like I would not get a tattoo during this lunar eclipse for you guys. You may regret whatever tattoo you decide. Don't get married under this eclipse, seriously. Mercury will be direct in your seventh house on May 14th, so communication and relationships with your closest people will get easier. May 16th, Jupiter will ingress Taurus in your seventh house for the next year, and there will be abundance for your relationships. Some of you may meet your person during this next year transit with Jupiter in Taurus. Some of you may get married during this time. Some of you may go into business partnerships that are very lucrative during this time. Some of you may, I don't know, fix a bond with an adult child too during this time. But your partnerships, your friendships, your most intimate relationships with people should be a source of abundance in your life for the next year. So enjoy that, Scorpio. And then on the 19th is the Taurus new moon in your seventh house. So, maybe this is a really good time for you to manifest what it is that you would like to see in the relationships in your life. Like, what do you feel like has been missing in the relationships in your life, and find out what that lack might be within yourself, and then go from there and manifest relationships in your life. And then there's this really interesting Jupiter, Pluto, and Mars T square the day before Gemini season. It's smushed right in between the Taurus new moon and the day before Gemini season starts. The sun moves into Gemini. And it's Mars opposite Pluto, and both Pluto and Mars are square Jupiter. So it's like a triangle, which we call a T square in astrology. And that can be a very aggravating, especially because Mars is opposite Pluto. There are going to be power struggles there. Pluto is retrograde. Mars will be in Leo at the time. Having Jupiter in Taurus, there's just this desire to get ahead, this desire to move ahead. And the questions that we really want to ask ourselves are, are we trying to move ahead based on just what I need? Because a lot of people are very selfish these days. It's very me, 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 me. And we've forgotten about humanity. We've forgotten about taking care of our community, taking care of our people. I've been really blessed to find my soul family in this lifetime, and I want more. I want that for more people. So it's going to be very clear the people who are working for the good of all, or it's going to be very clear people who are working just to benefit themselves. And that's not something that we can, you can't deny it. It will be undeniable. Let's see what it is that Scorpio is surrendering for May with the power of surrender cards. Let's see what Scorpio is surrendering. Nice. Okay. So, Scorpio, surrender frustration. Frustration doesn't open any doors. The key to resolving a dilemma or dissolving a block is to take a deep breath, center yourself, and regroup so you may approach the situation more calmly. Surrender frustration. Man, that is definitely one of those things that, I channel a lot of my frustration into divine rage these days. Like, how can I find the justice? How can I minimize the pain? How can I create something, that's more equalized? Okay. Ooh. Okay. Ooh, harsh words to a painful ending. Harsh words to a painful ending. May have come from an air sign or just somebody that really just projects their pain onto whatever is in front of them. But the Knight of Swords with the Ten of Swords and then the Six of Pentacles, there's going to be an ending to something, and it's gonna gut you. There's gonna be an ending to something and the ending of it will also stop how much you've given to it. It's like when we cut off our relationship that's been siphoning off of us. And so there's this definite ending that feels like happening, and it may have already happened. Like April may have created this ending for you of whatever it was that you were giving to yourself. And I feel like you're now kind of in this apathetic state of mind. The Four of Cups, especially in the Rider-Waite deck, often reminds me of somebody who's just apathetic, like not really content with where they are, not really content with where they're going, but just sort of like staring at the things that are in front of them, and they have no desire to look up. And this Four of Cups is clearly showing that the universe is trying to give you more. And I feel like that more is coming in divine timing. The Chariot, you could have a Cancer energy around you as well. But then we have the Six of Cups and the Three of Wands. For some of you, you're waiting for someone from your past to show back up in your life. And for others of you, I feel like you're waiting for what feels like someone that you've known for a very long time. But a lot of you, it feels like some of you are stuck in the past, or it feels like some of you are stuck in like a certain way of thinking of how it's supposed to feel in some way, shape, or form. So, and it's almost as if this, I feel like the ending brought the vulnerability of the bottom row, because the top row is very sharp. It's very swords action. And then we get to the bottom row, and it's the emotional aspect. It's the emotional parts of the painful existence. So let's clarify. Let's get into this and see where we're going. The Knight of Swords, Ten of Swords, yeah, some of you became single, and it could have been that some of you became single in April. And that's just spilling over into May. But it's really an amazing opportunity. And even if it's not single, it's almost like you're on your own in some way, shape, or form. Like you're creating something for yourself. So we have the Page of Swords on the Knight of Swords. So I feel like there was a conversation where the truth was involved. I feel like you had a conversation with someone. Could have also been that you had a conversation with an air sign that is not emotionally mature, that does not respond or react to anything very well. It feels very, this energy, this air energy that feels very projecting. It feels extremely young. And I feel like I want to look at them and be like, you know better. Like, you know better than this. I don't know. I want to mother them. It's so weird. The Page of Wands with the Nine of Pentacles on. So we have the Page of Wands and the Nine of Pentacles clarifying the Ten of Swords. So the ending was very painful, yes. But that painful ending brought this independence to the situation for you. I feel like you reclaimed some kind of independence by whatever ended. And then we have the Magician on the Six of Pentacles. Immediately, when your energy is no longer being siphoned by somebody else, immediately you're magic. It's like you have every tool. Finally, there's something that is finally feeling like yourself again, or like you can do anything and create anything. The Magician is very Jupiterian and expansive, and so it may really feel like when we remove ourselves from this kind of negativity. I remember having people like this in my life, and I would be like, I would hate having to sit on the phone with them. But the surrender frustration in a really, really big way makes sense. with this reading because you're really frustrated with this person, it feels like, or this energy in your life. Here we are. Once you're removed from the situation, the King of Cups on the Four of Cups. So I want you to remember who you are. I want you to, like, it's fine if you want to be apathetic and you don't want to feel anything for a couple of days, but that's not going to help you process what happened. This kind of stuff can be very painful. That 10 of Swords is not to be taken lightly. You have to grieve. If it's an ending to something, it's time to grieve. We have death and transformations all day, every day. And so there's this needing to show up for yourself. You can be apathetic about everything else in the world, but don't be apathetic about you, right? We have the 10 of Wands on the Chariot. So the journey of you having to carry the heavy load is almost over. There are 2 10s that you had in this reading. So, and that can be frustrating. That is really, really frustrating. And I understand that frustration. I get that. But if you sit within it, it's going to take a really long time for you to process those emotions and for you to get yourself out of that kind of situation if you just sit in all of that. So let's see what the Six of Cups and the okay, and then the Three of Wands. Bottom of the deck, we have the Five of Swords. Okay. Okay. Five of Swords. Sorry, it's kind of glaring. So you're talking yourself out of some things. I get that because here I'm finding a confusion of sorts in some way, shape, or form. That air sign needs to stay in the past. And I don't want you to, because that air sign is not showing up correct. I'm just not showing up correct at all. Okay. So, the air sign needs to stay in the past, but the Two of Pentacles with the Three of Wands, I feel like, Scorpio, you're at a point where you're like, now what? Now what do I do? I did the change. I did what I was supposed to do. Now what? Like, you think that like flowers and confetti and everything is going to rain from the sky and it's just going to be, I mean, it can, if that's what you want, that's what is going to happen. This is the thing, is when you're in this kind of state of mind, this Five of Swords state of mind, where you're second guessing your own power, even though literally the magician showed up for you, right? Don't accept defeat. The space that we make after there's been an ending, the space that we make can be filled up with frivolous activities, or they can be filled up with things that fill our soul up. And that's up to you. You've created a lot of space. These 2 10s here, there's this huge ending that happened for you. And when then an ending of this magnitude happens and you become independent all of the sudden, and you're no longer in this negative, like siphoning type of energy, anything is possible. Really, anything is possible. So, I feel like if you can practice the response that you have to projections and people, and like the world is crazy right now, like insane kind of crazy. So I get it. I understand that frustration too, but focus on your path. You can get past all of the bullshit that other people are doing. But if you're not showing up for yourself, that's the true tragedy, is when you're not showing up for yourself. So I love you guys. Take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Bye.